Hey everyone,
Hi.
it's Olivia and Sophia from Status Teenage. Welcome to or welcome back. We're going to begin with our week because I think this week has been quite a significant week, Sophia. Would you say?
You know what? Last week was a little bit troublesome for me,
Yeah.
but this Monday, peak Monday. So why don't you go first?
Isn't today Tuesday?
I said peak Monday. Well, today was not eventful. Yesterday was good though.
Okay.
So you go first.
Today was eventful. What are you talking about?
Oh, well, for you.
Okay.
Nothing changed for me.
So basically, the last couple of episodes, I said that I was not going to go to in-person school. I didn't find a need for it. Somebody actually brought it up to me today that I was saying in the past podcast, that I said that I was not going to go to in-person school.
I have something very quick to say. Shout out to Julia. She just told us that she started watching our podcast.
Listening,
and
Sophia.
She
has to get
Bitch.
used to us saying.
You're watching. I watch it. I watch the timer move, okay?
Okay.
Shout out to Julia. We love you. Thank you for watching. And shout out to the people who DM us again because, well, Julia didn't DM us because we see her. She told us in person. Shout out to Julia.
Yeah, shout out to Julia. Anyway, so yeah, she was saying that in the past couple episodes I said I wouldn't go to school, and then all of a sudden I just appear. I'm like,
out of the mist.
Yeah, I literally was just like, hey everyone, I'm at school now. And then a lot of mental breakdowns went into it. A lot of thought though, because you know what, I was thinking to myself, I was like, it's either I go in person and am able to focus but risk getting COVID, or stay at home, not be able to focus, completely ruin my grades. Which one sounds better?
But you're double vaxxed, so
I am double vaxxed.
The chances of you getting COVID are lowered, and the chance of you dying from COVID are significantly lowered.
Yeah.
If you even get it.
Yeah, because pretty much everyone around us is double vaxxed anyway.
Except for, like, a select few.
Yeah, because they're like mono-vaxxed.
Get your vaccine if you can, guys.
Yeah.
If you can't, obviously, if you have like a health condition that won't let you get your vaccine, then obviously, like, everyone else has to get it for you. Tell everyone around you to get it for you, because if you can't get your vaccine, then if you can't get a vaccine, then they're putting you at risk the most.
All right, so basically the only thing that was eventful that happened to us this week was or me at least, was that I ended up going to school in person. Yeah.
So now Olivia sits beside me in 2 of my classes.
Yep, finally, because it sucks learning online because a lot of the time they don't prioritize you. You're just sitting there in the background hoping that you can understand and listen to what the teacher or the people in class are saying. It's just much better in person. I get to take notes. If the teacher calls on me, they call on me. Like in my second period, I get called on all of the time.
Wait until politics class. You're going to want to participate in that class because that class is so fun when you can actually participate in it.
Yeah. So, yeah. And I'm so excited because tomorrow Dara's going back to school, which is super exciting.
Our friend went to Florida again, but this time it was for a fun little trip to Disney.
Yeah.
So, she's coming back. I'm excited to see her too.
This week, what we're talking about on the podcast.
Bitch,
and I feel
how about my week?
Well, you just said nothing eventful. Oh, go explain.
I said nothing eventful happened today.
Go. What happened yesterday?
I took a nap today.
Okay, what happened yesterday?
Last week was horrible. I lost my fucking necklace. I thought it was gone. My crystal. I freaking failed, like, practice tests for English because they were bullshit. I had to read one about snakes and Shakespearean English. Then I had to do another one about a bunch of kids dying of school shootings. And then I had to do another one where these people are on a boat and they cannibalize each other. So.
Well, is this the short story unit?
No. This was practice article unit.
Oh.
And then we have to do one about abstinence.
Like, abstinence is cool and all, but I feel like it differs from person to person.
Yeah, can we, listen, if you want to do what you want to do, go for it.
Then do what you want to do.
But this is not one of these morals, like, do not murder. Like, everyone has their own beliefs, and we should be pushing those beliefs on other people.
Yeah. But, like, I understand that we go to a Catholic school, and they're kind of not... It's not... we chose to go to a Catholic high school, I guess. So because of that, like, they're not forcing this whole, like, belief system on us because we did choose to go there. But, like, the whole you have to be abstinent when not everybody in our religion is abstinent is, like,
But also, like,
crazy.
in the same... It was an article from, like, 1977 written by, like, an old man where he also used the terms, like, babies making babies and, like, the pagan... But, like using the word, like, pagan in a negative light, which is, like... You know, one, like, a gross way to describe things.
Mm-hmm.
And two, like... You know, I thought we were supposed to respect other people's religions, not use them as, like, negative terms within articles.
Yeah,
But, you
it's
know-
it's 1977. What else? Like,
And the thing is, it's especially gross when we use, like, because the religion that they were using as a negative term, paganism, was, like, Catholic people had a big part in, like, the murder of all those people.
yeah.
So, like, to then turn around and use it in a Catholic school where you're, like, describing something, a narrative that you want to push by using another religion in a negative way to describe that thing when that religion is a religion that you helped try to destroy is just gross to me. What else happened last week? It was just a bad week. It was, like, so bad. I was failing all those practice tests. And I was just, like, not in it. And I was like, fuck, things are just not going well. I've lost my crystal.
yeah.
I ended up finding it. I'm failing all these freaking practice tests. They're all so weird. Like, why is the snake one written in Shakespearean English? And then Monday comes around. This Monday, yesterday, as when we're filming this. Sitting in my little classroom, and don't I get a call from a business requesting an interview with me. And I have applied to so many places, and I finally, after months and months and months, got an interview. So,
Which
then
means that if she ends up getting this job, better equipment and better audio is on the way. Yeah.
And also I got my Halloween costume in.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
still
like,
have to. I still have to do my Halloween costume. I still have to figure it out.
I have the ears sitting right beside me.
That's so weird to say. I have the ears sitting right next to me.
I have 2 pairs of ears right beside me right now.
You're weird. Anyway.
Well, one's cat ears for my headphones, and the other are elf ears for my costume.
Yes. But
I have human ears sitting on my desk.
shall we get into what today's episode is about, or this week's episode? So this week's episode is about friends, not just friends, but dropping them or getting dropped by friends. Because I feel like, and I'm pretty sure you can agree with me, as teenagers, friends will come and go because that's just how it is.
No,
Us
I
both.
manufacture all my friends from the spirits of dead soldiers.
You know that movie Build Your Boyfriend or whatever it's called? But it's like Build Your Friends. And it's like you build them out of like...
I do. All my friends are Build-A-Bears.
Yeah.
And they have voices from like Morgan Freeman in their paws, and you press them and they're like, I love you, Sophia.
No! Whoa, that's... Anyway, so Sophia and we've dealt with a lot of different kinds of people, let's say. We've dealt with the same kinds of people as well. So, let's just say this.
I have tea and I'm sipping it.
Yeah.
This is not even a joke. I just have tea on my counter. And
Yeah,
I just feel
she's
like it's
drinking
appropriate
tea.
time.
So if you hear...
Should I sip it loudly?
If you
Should I
hear
sip it
your
loudly?
nails blend in with the drink, or with the cup, so it looks like you just have nude pointed tips. Anyway. I'm so uncomfy. Stop. Stop. That makes me so uncomfy. Anyway, so basically, with friends, especially as teenagers, do not, and if you
Make
keep...
them.
Shut up, Sophia. If you make friends, right, I mean this in the best way possible, don't expect to keep them as friends. Don't expect them to keep... No, but listen. Don't expect to keep them longer than high school. Let's say that.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say No,
Your friend
on,
group is gonna change, basically, is what we're saying.
Yeah, based on the people you're around, and based on the kind of people you know they are, and based on, like, how you get along with them. I'd say depending on the friends, don't expect to keep them all throughout high school. And I mean, obviously your friend group's gonna change, but, like, I have a best friend from fucking elementary school. Shout out to you, Angel. I love you. She's still my friend from elementary school.
I had a
Grade
couple friends
6.
from elementary school, but last year we all just kind of fell off. But advice on like dropping and getting dropped from friends is not really talked about. You kind of just have to deal with it and like figure it out on your own. You kind of just have to learn how to like grow without them. Like, I know for me, I've dropped so many people so many times that it's now become like second nature. Like, it's now become a second nature. For example, I don't get too close to people, right? Like, I don't get too close to people that I don't think are good for me. So yeah, this is my goodbye message. This is my goodbye message.
Oh shit, I have something we did this weekend. I did Olivia's makeup.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She hated it.
Okay, no, hear me out, okay?
It looked good!
Maybe that's why I'm dropping you. Anyway, I didn't hate the makeup. I just didn't like the colors.
Bestie, I was picking the colors.
But okay, yes, but how is I supposed to know that on my eye, it would blend it together, it would look like I got two black eyes? How would I know?
Olivia goes, I want alt makeup. And then she goes, why is there so much eyeliner? I'm like, you wanted alt makeup. She's like, not this kind of alt.
No.
You said not this kind of alt makeup. And then showed me some alt makeup with a shit ton of blush, like giant lashes, but like so minimalist. And I'm like, you didn't show her a picture. What was I supposed to do?
You said that you were going to make my makeup the way that you do your makeup.
And I did.
Yeah, but your makeup's not alt girl makeup.
Well, no, because you said I want it kind of like edgy. I want it kind of alt. So I said, bet. I'm going to do purple. And I'm going to do
And then you didn't end up doing purple.
I did do purple.
You did orange, brown. You did purple in my inner eyes and pink underneath my eyes.
I'm going to do your makeup on my face, the one I did on you on my face, and show you that it looked good.
But our faces are different!
But the colors would still make me look like I have a black eye, according to you.
Okay, so then you have black eyes. You're gonna walk around looking like you have black eyes. But but the color that you were wearing that day was more pink.
Yeah, because I didn't do the exact same makeup colors I was doing. I changed it up. I don't wear the same colors every day. It's called variety.
Anyway, Sophia.
Anyway, she washed it off and got Alex to redo it.
Yeah, and my mom complimented the makeup too.
You kept my eyebrows, though.
I did keep your eyebrows, you're right. And I kept your bronzer and all that. I just changed the eyes. No, I changed the eyes and the lips.
Well,
because the lips didn't look good with the look.
Yeah, because you bought a new lip pencil and you wanted to try it out, so I was like, okay.
Anyway, back to Friends. That's why I'm dropping her. This is the last episode of Status Teenage.
Because according to her, I fucked up her makeup.
Oh my god.
Even though nobody else agrees.
Anyway, so pretty much advice when you get dropped. It depends on how long you've been friends with this person, I feel. Like, for example, when I stopped talking to somebody that I had been friends with for years, it hurt more than it would have if I had stopped talking to somebody that I've known for a couple months. The different ways that you cope with things is really gonna... The ways that you cope with things is really gonna distinguish how hard you take something. I know for me that when I got dropped by somebody, I really,
someone.
Yeah, I took it to heart. I really did. I realized that I honestly, like, if I was even talking about it today, I don't see anything that I did wrong. And sometimes you don't even do anything wrong and people just drop you. Sometimes people just maybe think that you're not good for them, but that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Unless you're, like, extremely narcissistic and selfish and just, like, overly toxic. But,
like Olivia, and I'm still friends with her.
Anyway, so yeah, sometimes you don't even do anything wrong. I mean, you should just take it with a grain of salt. If somebody that's bad for you drops you, it's a blessing in disguise. Don't try to get that friendship back. It's not worth it. If you need to drop somebody, do it in a way that's good for both parties or for the multiple parties involved. You don't want to create so much drama out of such a simple situation that could easily be disregarded. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sip your tea. You.
There's a little dog looking at the stars on my mug.
Okay, Sophia. So Sophia and I had roughly the same friend group. Well, we pretty much had the same friend group for like 9th and a little bit of 10th grade. And to say the least, we don't talk to them anymore. we don't talk to them anymore, but
for different situations.
Yeah, for different reasons, but at the end of the day, it was better for both of us. What is your take on being dropped or dropping friends?
Well, the thing is, I got dropped in the middle of quarantine.
So did I.
Right after I told that friend about something that I don't really tell a lot of people, or that I didn't at the time. Now I'm becoming more open with my mental health, but at the time I didn't, and I opened up to them about it, and they ghosted me like 2 weeks later. So,
yeah.
And it was the middle of quarantine. So how do you move on from that? How, if you're in the middle of quarantine, how do you make new friends?
Yeah.
Well,
that's
the
important.
solution is Minecraft.
You know, the thing is, if you have like friends left over, I guess you could say, of a whole debacle or a whole situation that you have, if they know people as well. Yeah, but you knew Kenneth.
No, but I knew Diana. Me and Diana made the Minecraft server. So me and my friend Diana made the Minecraft server together. But Diana is not part of this at all. She's graduated now. She's like in her own little world.
Yeah.
Doing her own little thing. Hope she's doing well, Diana.
Hey, Diana.
Hope you're doing great. And then I knew Kenneth, but Kenneth wasn't part of that. Like, I had other friends that weren't part of that
Kenneth
situation.
wasn't a part of the group.
No.
Yeah. But
That's
I'm saying if you have friends after that whole situation, they'll probably know people, and which they did. That's why we have our friend group the way that we do. Because she knew Kenneth. Yeah. And I knew her.
And we played Minecraft.
Yeah. So it's hard to make... Yeah. It's really hard to make friends during quarantine. I didn't really make friends during quarantine.
You literally did.
No.
You made a whole new group of friends with me.
Yeah, but I knew Dara already.
But you weren't close with Dara.
I guess.
You weren't close with Alex.
I guess.
That's me being like, I just became friends with, like, Stefano. And I hadn't, like, I've met him once in the hallway, said hi.
It was funny because
over quarantine.
I told Alex that I wanted to be friends with him for like a while because I had followed them on Instagram for like years.
But you know what's funny now? I didn't know Alex until like after everything, and now we're both Aquariuses, and now
Dara and I are both Scorpios.
We'll just go out, on walks. Especially me and Olivia comes, but sometimes me and Alex play. It's really easy for me and Alex to plan because we don't work. Yeah,
I work.
And it's just like one of those things where like we're really close now.
Yeah.
So we'll just like go. We have a chat called Three Hookers Doing Business.
Yeah, it's so funny.
So that's where me, Olivia, and Alex make our plans.
Yeah. So just find good people for you. And if there's no good people for you, the best Sophia!
What?
Don't run.
If you live in a place
just take
with
refuge
no good people,
within yourself.
I'm my own best friend. If you're lonely, get a dog or a cat. But you know what? They might hate you too. My dog, he doesn't like being touched. I go to him for comfort, he leaves.
My dog has like separation anxiety.
Olivia, Finn walks backwards on the hardwood floor because he's scared of it. Like, I don't know. He has something going on.
Are we even giving advice for friends? Anyway,
Get a dog that likes you.
If you're looking to drop somebody because they're just not good for you, honestly, some people do the simple block, but if you see them at school, maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe you should talk to them and try to figure out, like, you know, hey, like, what's going on? Talk about what's bothering you. If something's really bothering you and they don't change it, that's when you're like, okay, time to drop. That's when you can pull the block card, or that's when you could just stop talking to them at all, or like stop talking to them altogether. You don't even have to block them. Just kind of like slowly distance yourself. Instead of having lunch with them all the time, maybe have lunch with them every other day and go hang out with some other people, you know? But it's harder when, like, they're your only friend. Because that's what happened to me. Is when I was in, like, 7th grade, I had... Well, 5th, 6th, 7th, I only really had, like, one friend that I would talk to. And it ended up getting to the point where I couldn't drop her. Because if I dropped her, I dropped all of her other friends that came along with her. It was kind of like a circus, you know? It's just like, you have one, you have all the animals. So then in 7th grade... so then before 8th grade, we all, like, hung out and... this whole thing happened, and basically she ghosted me, but I also ghosted her in the sense that when the next year...
You emotionally ghosted.
Like, she blocked me on everything, but I blocked her back. But in 8th grade, I didn't talk to her at all. So, like, we didn't talk to each other. So we pretty much ghosted each other, but she got angry for no reason, which
it was
caused...
a mutual ghosting.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that. Like, I wasn't really thinking about ghosting her until she made up some dummy, like, situation. And yeah, like, sometimes there's just... And she was also a Scorpio, which is so funny. But she's...
Stop talking to me was also an Aquarius. I have a lot of Aquarius friends. I've had a lot of close Aquarius friends.
But she was an October Scorpio.
Yeah.
I'm a November Scorpio.
Well, mine was not a February Scorpio.
You mean Aquarius?
I mean, Aquarius.
Imagine.
It was a January Aquarius.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just...
All my February I have a lot of February Aquarius friends, and if our friendship has quote-unquote ended, it's been on, like, just fading away or stuff. Any January, I've had multiple January Aquarius friends, and the not hanging out part is a lot messier.
You know what? I must say, a lot of the time, people won't invite me places, and then that's when, like, issues spring up. Like, not with you and Alex, because that doesn't...
Yeah, no,
that's not a problem.
The thing is, just talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, Olivia texts me, she's like, hey, like, why are you and Alex hanging out without me? Like, just explain. I
didn't even say that. I was like, you were with Alex?
No, because you're like, you were sad that you're like, no, you're like, are you guys hanging out without me because of insert reason that I'm not gonna say? And I'm like, no, like, don't worry, like, anyway, if you think something is going on and that's why that person is going to drop you, like, if you can sense it coming, just explain. Like, so many things can be avoided if you are just upfront with each other. And even if it's harsh sometimes, like, if you guys are good enough friends, me and Olivia, we don't have really big fights, but we have so many arguments. But you know what? We talk about it, and that's why we're friends. Because
even sometimes we don't even talk about it, and it just goes away.
Yeah. And then we talk about it a few years later and are like, haha.
How funny was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happened in 9th grade. But, when...
Olivia's a cockroach, I just can't get rid of her. I'm a cockroach too, though. It's okay.
Okay. Leech. You're a leech.
Yes, because I'm a vampire and I suck blood.
Ew. So, anyway, my entire basis is communication. If the communication aspect doesn't work, that's when you kind of decide, hey, I need to drop them, but go about it in a way that
this is how you drop someone.
Don't be stupid. Give actual No. If you get dropped and there's something that you did wrong and you know you did wrong, take that time to self-reflect. If you get dropped and you did absolutely nothing wrong, apologize if you did do something wrong, but if somebody drops you and you know you didn't do anything wrong, take it with a grain of salt. But if somebody drops you and acts like you did something wrong, but you didn't actually do anything wrong, and then they like give you bad looks in the hallway, or like basically cyberbullies them, or cyberbullies you, basically like if they're not being like, I don't know, I feel like
if they are shitting on you, just be the better person and look hot. And the thing is, being back at school, because at the beginning of the year, a lot of my friends, either we didn't run into each other a lot, so we weren't walking beside each other in the hallway or before school, or we weren't like, a lot of them were at home, including Olivia. I was alone like before school sometimes, between classes. So, and I would sometimes like see them around. What you have to do, just don't let it bother you. Because if you give off an air that it's bothering you, they'll pick up on it. Just do your own thing. Don't worry about them. You can notice they're in the hallway, but like, why would you acknowledge them? You know you have friends. It doesn't matter what they think because you know how you are. You know who you surround yourself by. You know you're comfortable in where you are. So don't let them make you feel uncomfortable for where you are because you want to show them that you're comfortable where you are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
See, I can give good advice.
Just don't talk about rolling people into balls.
And drop kicking them.
And or run. Just run.
Well, run can also be good advice. Because...
Run where? Mentally?
Can I finish my story?
If you're in the same school as someone, how are you
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If someone is causing you a lot of trouble in school and things get very bad, don't feel bad about moving to another school. Like,
if you have the option.
In extreme situations, if you have the option and things are really bad, don't feel ashamed to remove yourself from that situation, even if it means moving schools.
It's better for your mental health, honestly. And
so sometimes,
everybody should put their mental health first, because there's been so many times where people, like even myself, like I neglect my mental health, and like I'll change my personality around. Maybe I shouldn't even say this, but I change my personality around certain people to fit their standard. And so I neglect the way that I feel. And I feel like if sometimes I remove myself from a situation in which I have to do that, I would be truer to myself. But I think that around you and like Alex and Dara, like I'm as real as I can get. Because I
completely agree. In the last group of friends, I felt so like, not that I was really faking it, but I was like
you had to alter your personality.
I was very... you guys have seen me on this podcast. This podcast is how I act around my friends. This is what it is, okay?
Yeah.
I'm talking to a screen, to Olivia on a screen, so to me it doesn't feel like I'm talking to a bunch of people.
We scream this much in real life. So if you get headaches from us, yeah, we do.
Anyway, so this feels like, this is how I talk with my friends.
Yeah.
In my last group of friends, I felt like I couldn't like scream, like I couldn't like
be
make
yourself.
The weird jokes that I do.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, do the things that I do on here. I felt like I had to like be me, but like altered. Me normal. But me as a normal human being.
See, when I was in that friend group, it was more like everyone used to call me loud. Everyone used to call me annoying. Everyone used to call me this, that, and the other. And then I'm like, but I'm just being myself and you're making it negative. But what's funny is like other people on that friend group would be loud all the time. But I only noticed me getting reprimanded, which was kind of stupid. And then that's when I was like, okay, this is a little bit not my cup of tea. You know? But I had been friends with those friends for like a couple years. And what's annoying is how some like things just change in like a blink of an eye. Like things just happen so fast and you can't even control it. Don't try to control it. Let things happen. Don't try to control a situation in which you know you have no control over, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it. You're gonna give yourself so much heartbreak and so much harm over what? Don't do it. It's not good for you.
People who can easily be replaced.
Yeah, literally, because you know the thing is I feel like in our generation especially, everybody's just like the next.
Nobody wants to say that people are easily replaced because it feels harsh.
But they are.
But look how many people are just on your street alone.
Yeah.
if you're in a suburban area or a city. Maybe not if you're in the rural area. But look how many people just live on your street alone that you probably haven't talked to. If you think that there's no one else in the world who can replace even in like your city, that can replace a person.
One singular person or a group, you're false.
Yeah, that is causing you like distress. You need to reevaluate your sense of space and like volume, because there are so many people, and to think that nobody can like replace those people. They could replace them and be better than them a lot of the times. And I'm not ashamed to say it, because it feels like a lot of people don't want to say that people are easily replaced because everyone wants to be special. But truth be told, everyone is special in their own regard. But, like, everyone can be replaced because there's so many people.
It's not even, like, personality replaced. It's, like, you can meet someone with a better personality, someone who, like, just is better to you overall. I genuinely think that people say that friends matter in high school. And although they do make things better, I don't think that having friends or a big group of friends in high school is that much of a game changer. If you have like 1 or 2 or 3 friends, okay. Yes. But if you have like, honestly, I think that 4 people in a friend group, even 5, is like pretty good. But, like, you can get away with 2 other friends.
The thing is, if you can have a lot of friends. You should have
I'm a floater.
Yeah. A core group of friends is always good. But within that core group of friends, there has to be an understanding that even if you guys hang out with the other people, you're all still friends.
Yeah.
Like, if I want to go hang out with, like, Alex...
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. Just, like, if Olivia wants to go hang out with Alex without me, like, there has to be some kind of understanding.
We were going to. And we ended up hanging out with you anyway.
Yeah.
We hung out with you anyway.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't going to come because I was busy, and then you guys were, like, texting in the general... If you guys are going to play something private, you got to text in the private chat. Text in the main chat, being like, "Hey, let's go hang out." Like, of course I'm gonna be like, I can too. If you want to hang out privately, you gotta text in the private chat.
No, we told you, we were saying it in the group chat so you could come, and then you were like, we can't. You said you can't, and I was like, okay, Alex will go, and then you're like, well, I can go for a little bit. So then we're like, okay, so come.
Okay, yeah. Anyways.
Communication,
but there has to be an understanding that you can all hang out without there's still friends others, if you're like, this is not like a weird cult, you know?
But at the same time, I feel like unless you know somebody's busy, like, you can give somebody an invite, but don't make that a deal breaker.
But even if I just like felt like hanging out with Olivia without hanging out with Alex today, everybody has different energy. Everybody has different things to bring to the table.
My energy's fantastic, right?
And sometimes you just want to be surrounded by
one. My energy's fantastic, right?
Yes, it is, depending on my mood. But that's the point. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you want to be around one person's energy more than you do others. It doesn't mean you don't like that person less. It just means that sometimes...
That's so sad, because you literally really only have 2 options.
Excuse you, I have all my friends are air signs or water signs.
What's Angel?
She's an air sign. She's a Libra.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I'm saying you only have 2 options.
Yeah, Aquarius or Scorpio. And Kenneth is always busy, so he never... We love you, Kenneth. He's always doing something, I haven't seen him, like, literally since, like, we saw him a glimpse at the mall because we was
I haven't seen him since, like, even before that.
Okay, right, because we went, me, Alex, and Adar went to the mall because you were busy.
Yeah.
And Kenneth was, like, going to work. So we said hi, we left him. But the point is that you can hang out, like, sometimes, even if you guys are in a friend group, sometimes you're just in the mood to be around one person more than you are others. Like, sometimes you just want to hang out with one other person. And that's fine. Like, just because you're in a group doesn't mean you shouldn't feel obligated to always hang out with the group if you just feel like being around one person that day. You know what I mean?
Don't make that a deal breaker.
Especially for people who have, like, really low, like, social tolerance and have, like, have to, like, recharge their battery before they socialize with other people. Sometimes, even within a friend group, there are other people who can be very draining, even though they're your friends, and they can drain your social, like, level a lot. Because I know I struggle with this. Olivia, I could be. This is why we stopped being friends in grade 9.
I was draining.
Because we were around each other all day, every day. We were both tired of each other. This was an equal exchange. Okay.
Yeah, we were a lot. Yeah. Anyway, also that's another thing. It's okay to reconnect with friends after taking time away. Because you know what? Over the course of a couple years, you can have some character development, and the other person can have some character development.
Yeah, look at me and Olivia.
Yeah, like, for example, she said in another podcast episode that I, like, acted on my emotions a lot. Right? You said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I don't.
Well, you still do, but I think you understand yourself better.
Yeah.
So you're not, like, we both, like, and I understand you better, so we're not fighting over dumb shit.
And even
like,
if we are,
like One Direction. Like, One Direction songs.
Let's talk about us then.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
We're saying how you don't have to have a big group of friends. If you have a very small group of friends and you're not around each other, it's okay to just be alone at school. Bring a book. If you bring a book to school and read it while you're alone, you don't look lonely. You look like the main character. Just do it. I promise you it's worth it.
Some people may think that you're a loser, but like in your head you're a main character.
If you're reading a book at school, everyone's just like, oh, she's cool, she's just reading.
Everyone else is a side character, let's be real, because you know how many people are in big friend groups and they're all side characters within their own group because they don't overpower everyone because they're the same as everyone else in a group. It's actually kind of sad. Like, I feel like my favorite kind of friend group is the friend group where everyone shines in their own way, but then you have those like groups of guys that like walk around the school, or like groups of girls that walk around the school. I don't know any of their names. I don't know any of them either. They all have the same name to me. Yeah,
they all have the same name to me.
They're all like,
I was like, one you know the name of, and they're all just like that same person.
Yeah. Because everyone just acts the same. I feel like if you're going to be in a friend group and they, like, treat you well, like, I hope that everybody in your friend group shines a different way. Because, like, it's so sad to see when an entire group of people act the exact same way. It's like, where's the flavor? Like, there's no, like...
A good friend group has different, everyone... If a bad friend group is when let me put an analogy. If everyone's singing the same song in a friend group, is singing the same tune in a friend group, is everyone singing the main melody, that's not a group you want to be in. You want to be in a group where everyone has their own line and they harmonize together. And you also don't want to be in a group where everyone has their own song and they don't go well together. You want the one that harmonizes, and you want the one where everyone is different but everyone sounds good together.
That was a good analogy.
Right?
That was really good. Wow.
I know.
I'm surprised you even came up with that with your brain.
You're so mean. I'm so good at analogies. If I'm not being stupid.
Which is like 98% of the time. Hey, I gave you 2%. I didn't give you 1. I gave you 2. I said 98 instead of 99. I gave you 2%.
My dad just texted me and said, want some sweet potato fries?
Say no.
I'm gonna say sure, but not now. Sure, but after the podcast.
Okay. So yeah, just everyone shine in their own way. And if y'all don't, I think y'all need to drop or be dropped.
Sometimes you just need to find your sound. Just got just a little bit. Just add a note or two, up and down, and you'll figure it out.
Notes equaling friends.
Or even just like yourself.
Yeah. Character development. We had a bunch of character development over quarantine. We figured out a lot about ourselves. We figured out a lot about our friends. We figured out what was good for us and what was bad for us. We acted upon it. Maybe we weren't the ones that acted upon it. Maybe other people were the ones that acted upon it, and we figured it out. And I just have to say this, at the end, everything will be fine, because it's not like God's will or anything, but it's like everything will just be fine, because that's how life always goes.
The universe will line things up for you.
And you know what? Your friendships that you have now may not exist in a couple months, years, 2 years, 3 years time, but in the next like 5 years, that little instance that happened is not gonna matter. If you're in 9th grade and a whole like thing happens with your friends and like somebody wasn't hanging out with you, or some little like teenage drama, that's not gonna matter at the end of high school. Or maybe it does, because people tend to be very immature. People hold grudges. You have to be careful of that. But that's not gonna matter. Like, you're telling me that when you're at 30, 9th grade problems are gonna bother you? It's gonna go away eventually.
The thing is, everyone you encounter, everyone you're close to, leaves an impact on your life. And you need to become the best person you can be using the effect of that other people have left.
Learn from it.
And whether that was a bad effect and you learned something bad from it, or whether that be just like you figured out something while you're hanging with someone else, or maybe you're still friends with that person and that person is actively impacting your life every day, even when you're older. Everybody impacts your life in a certain way, whether you realize it or not. And it's how you let it affect you that matters.
Try to take the good from every situation. For example, if something bad happens and somebody says that, oh, you're this way, I just can't hang out with you. If it's an actual problem, try and like fix it. For example, people always told me that whenever they would tell me a problem that they had with me, I wouldn't listen to them and I would just get mad at them because I couldn't accept the fact that I was wrong. But now when somebody tells me that I'm doing something wrong or that I'm too loud or whatever, I've learned to listen to them and try my hardest to change that to make them comfortable. Yeah. Especially if it's something like bad.
Olivia used to chew in my ear on purpose because she knows I hate the sound of chewing. But now when we're on call, she doesn't do that.
I don't chew. I actually tell other people to be careful when they're chewing loudly.
Yeah.
Because I know it bothers you.
And that's good friends. And then she'll call me a whore later on call. But that's a mutual love.
Yeah. So, or like when I'm eating, for example, on call, I'll make sure that it's not too loud, or I'll ask you, is it too loud? Because I know that you hate chewing.
I'm conscious of it too. Like, when I'm chewing like gum or something, I'll try to move my microphone away and make sure it's not bothering anyone. I'll be like, guys, can you hear? Like, is it bothering you? And if it's not, then you know what, it doesn't matter. But,
yeah.
You know.
But I just always try to make sure because, like, you want everyone to be comfortable, right? But it's also those little things, you know? Like, that's, like, the little things are what make a friendship. And sometimes I feel like, you know, like a 50-50 relationship, you never want a relationship or a friendship or anything to be 60-40 or 70-30. Yeah. It has to be 50-50.
Olivia calls me a whore and I call her a slut back.
Exactly. That's 50-50.
Equal exchange. Equivalent exchange. Equal.
Yeah.
Alchemy.
It's like gas exchange in your lungs.
Alchemy.
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah. Okay, Sophia.
Oh,
anyway,
another reference I'm making.
Isn't Full Metal Alchemist an anime?
It's an anime, yeah. Okay. And like there's like rule of an equivalent exchange.
Okay, so make sure that when honestly, you could just be a good person and do things for other people, and you shouldn't expect things back. But it'd be nice for other people to do things, you know?
But that's for random people. I feel like if you're in a friend group, you should expect the same treatment you're given.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if you're with a random person in the street and you give, like, a homeless person something, don't expect the universe to give you something back. But, like, if you're with your friends, you guys have to have, like, a 50-50 relationship. This is not like a... Like, I feel like a, hey, I'm gonna pay for you this time, you pay for me next time kind of thing. If you're, like, doing something for someone else that you don't really know, like, that's different. But, like, in a friend group, I feel like it's like the rules change a little bit. Like, don't expect something back, but also kind of do.
Yeah. But it shouldn't be a deal breaker if somebody doesn't, like, give you something.
Yeah, of course. You know? But, like, I feel like if it's a repetitive thing where, like, I'm paying for you and you're not, like exchange, like, doing it back for me, or, like... If you're not like, or if you're like not willing, like I don't know, there just has to be like a 50, like an exchange of some kind.
Whenever like I'll offer to buy somebody food and they say I'm gonna pay you back, I say don't even worry about it. I don't expect anything back.
Yeah. If you say like I don't want you to, like, that's fine. But like if this is like a repetitive thing where you're constantly buying someone food. And they're, like, not even, like...
offering to pay back?
Yeah. Like,
the offer is really important.
Yeah.
Even offering... You know what? You don't have to do it, but even offering, like, hey, like, you want to ride? Or just offering something, that just makes it 10 times better than not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it's small things, like, don't expect... If I, like, ask Olivia to throw something out for me, I'm not going to be like, hey... Let me do it for you this time now. We're going to switch you throwing out my Kleenex... Not my Kleenex, like, my ice cup for me. Let's exchange. Yeah. You gotta do it multiple times, even Steven. Like, no, obviously, but like bigger things, like there has to be like you expect if it's always one side and you're always doing something else for the other person, like then, you know,
rethink the friendship,
expecting something back, you know.
Yeah, and if you don't get anything back, rethink the friendship.
Yeah,
because that's the only way that like being social works. Like, you can't, like, think about it. If you're talking to somebody who doesn't talk back to you or does anything back to you, that's equivalent to talking to a wall. Like, it has to be a give and take situation.
But at the same time, it has to be like a 50-50% where it's 50% for you, but also 50% for them. Like, if you, like, you can't, I'm going to use money as example, but if I have a lot of money and I want to be like, hey, I'll buy you this thing that's more expensive, you can't be like, oh, I paid for you this price and now you have to pay it for me this price, because that person may not have the same amount of money. Same with like social situations. If I am more like social than you and I'm like doing stuff for you or whatever, but you're not that kind of social person, you do the 50% for you and I do the 50%. It has to be an equal exchange, but an equal exchange that both people can handle. You know what I mean?
I've heard of this where it's like people become friends with, for example, an introverted person becomes friends with extroverted, and extroverted becomes friends with introverted. And I actually heard this thing where it was like, introverted people, they deal with it, but they figure out a way to deal with it. So they become friends with an extrovert. They do all the talking at parties, but it benefits both of them. They get their social interaction, and introverted people, they're with somebody, but they don't have to be socially drained.
So you can't expect the exact equal whatever for you guys, because
there's a balance there.
People still have their own stuff.
Yeah.
Not everyone has the same amount to give as you.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Whether that be money or like social energy or like time.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just make sure that the people that are around you are going to be people that only bring you up in life. Never, ever be friends with somebody that makes you feel as though you are below them. I've had that issue so much and so many times in the past to where it really played on my self-esteem. You want to be friends with somebody that gives you compliments, or somebody that just shows you that you're not what other people make you out to seem.
But also, like, if that person is, like, if the person you're friends with is, like, someone who, like, jokes around, sometimes if you want a compliment from someone you can't always expect it to be like, oh my god, you're so beautiful. You have to expect it sometimes to come in like a
joking way.
Yeah. Like, everyone has their own ways. It's like, you know.
But it has to be a way that works for you. Like, if you're not okay with jokes.
Friendship is about balance.
Yeah. Your personalities have to be able to ricochet but balance each other. Like, imagine like two steel walls that are parallel to each other, and there's a ball just bouncing back and forth. That's the way that I view friendship. Just go back and forth. For example, when we talk, I'll say something, you add on, or you disagree, and then I agree with you.
And when we disagree, the ball bounces faster because we just start yelling
about the same thing.
We will argue about the same thing non-stop and not realize that we've been arguing about the same thing until after the argument is over.
Because it's reworded, and my brain, honestly, I definitely feel like my brain recently has not been able to comprehend things that I used to be able to. It's just, my brain is not as fast as it used to be.
My brain is completely consumed by my classes at the moment.
Yeah, so
by
is mine.
Shakespearean snakes.
My class is consumed of Emmanuel Levinas.
That is not a euphemism for penis.
Okay. Thank you, Sophia. That's a great clarification, but I don't think anybody would have known what that meant other than you.
Shakespearean snakes? I feel like I need to clarify.
No, because I literally thought of like one of his fantasy books where like somebody dies of poison or something.
Well, if I say my mind is consumed by Shakespearean snakes. Okay. Maybe I'm just fucked up.
Basically, she does not mean that.
I do not mean penises. I mean, like, literally Shakespearean snakes from my English class.
Yeah. So, yeah, my brain is just filled with theorists.
Politics. The amount of times I've heard Karl Marx within these past 3 weeks.
I've heard Aristotle, like, 4 times.
Karl Marx, Sigmund Freud.
Sigmund Freud, yeah.
They never leave us alone.
They never do.
And Sigmund Freud's kind of I've been...
Literally, all of my classes are pretty much the same. Law, politics, ethics, and sociology are literally the same.
I've got law, politics, English. English is a little bit different. Law, politics, English, and sociology. So all I'm learning about is Sigmund Freud, Karl Marx, Aristotle, Plato,
Socrates.
Plato, Socrates.
Oh, yeah, I call him Socrates. Socrates.
And last year, I had history and psychology together, so all I heard all day was Karl Marx, Sigmund Freud, and the Nazis.
Yeah. I think this was a good discussion. I really do think this was a good discussion. I feel like more people... It wasn't really direct. It was kind of all over the place. But at the same time, just like conclude everything.
Drop kick people physically.
No, let's be serious about this. I feel like you will do the best that you can to judge what's good and what isn't good for you. But I definitely feel that the more situations and the more experiences that you go through, the more pain that you feel, the more you'll understand what is good and what is bad for you. As someone coming from somebody who has been through a lot of experience with friends, with a lot of bullying or heartbreak or pain or whatever you want to clarify it as, or classify it as, I mean.
Clarify it as.
Yeah, classify it as. Eventually you just learn what is good and what is bad for you. If you're just starting high school, you may realize that these people may be good for you now, but the more you progress as a person and the more that you develop and mature, you may realize that these people are going at maybe a slower pace than you are and realize that they're not good for you. And that's fine.
If you're growing and the people if you're growing and the people around you aren't growing, then it's time to find friends who have grown.
Yeah. Because I know for myself, I felt like I always grew or mature faster than the people around me, which caused me to switch friend groups a lot. Because especially when it came to situations, because I had dealt with so many situations, like bullying problems, just arguments with friends so early on. And I was able to handle situations in ways that people didn't deem appropriate. It caused a lot of problems. So you just need to find people that suit you, that are on kind of the same level as you, mentally and maturity wise. Honestly, it'll save you all of the struggle. If you can't find anybody like that, there's literally no other option really, if you want friends.
And as my weekly disclaimer, this is information from teenagers to teenagers. We are not professionals. We have not been trained. We are still cadets. And we do not take everything we say. Take everything we say with a grain of salt. Take what applies, take what doesn't. Don't take what doesn't apply. We are not professionals. We are simply teenagers.
Yes. But pretty much, I hope that whatever friend group you have now goes well. I hope if you don't have a friend group yet, I hope that you find people that are on the same wavelength. Find things in common with people. But don't shame other people for having different interests.
Yes.
Don't do that. Is that all for today's episode?
I think so. I think this was a productive conversation. I think usually we ramble a lot, but I think this time it was kind of productive. I definitely think that we talked a lot about it because we do have quite a lot of experience. I like today's episode because it's a little bit more on the serious side, and I like having a little bit more serious conversations. Yeah, and last episode we were kind of screaming about fashion. Yeah, we were. But I really like serious conversations because when I get really into conversations, I tend to think a little bit out of the box, but also just because I feel like we're being more direct. Where, like last episode, we were talking about your aesthetics. It was kind of a little bit more jokes, but when it comes to situations like this, we can't always have serious episodes like this. Sometimes we gotta throw in a few fun ones, but and even in the serious ones, you gotta add a little bit of humor in there because this is for entertainment purposes. You don't want to come here to listen to a PSA. Yeah. But I hope we did help you guys out a little bit. Yeah, we hope you please drop kick people if you need to. Yeah. If you're a professional soccer player. Yeah. So professionals only. That's the end of the episode. Get vaccinated. Wear your mask. Stay safe. Stay safe. Got it. Sanitize your hands. Wash your hands. Take care of yourself. Don't die. Don't die. Find good people for you. That's all. Bye. Bye.